there is a growing movement around support for menopause and menstruation. We've been working in this area now since 2017, but I've seen a lot of momentum gaining over the last couple of years, which is a great thing.
And these new reproductive leave laws, they encompass quite a bit from, menstruation to menopause to IVF procedures. These are things that have been and continue to be, quite taboo subjects, especially in workplace settings. So is this a positive sign that things are changing?
Well, things are definitely changing, and it's time for this to come out of the shadows. Women have been operating under a menstrual taboo for generations and generations, bearing their sort of silence with awkwardness and sometimes feelings of shame, and feeling guilty that they might be experiencing problems with their cycle. So it's time that it came out into the open. It's time that there was much more debate and discussion and support, especially for women in paid workplaces, especially for women as they're going through menopause, so that, when we've got this talent coming through in our workplace, women in their 50s and their 60s, at the same time they're struggling to deal with physical symptoms. So the more openness and support around this, the better.
Yeah, the statistics are quite shocking. 2 in 5 Victorian women live with chronic pain linked to their reproductive health. That's a huge number. What kind of impact does it have on their employment when people don't know just how widespread these issues can be?
Well, a lot of women have to suffer in silence, and that's not a good thing. But also, they will feel guilty if they can't turn up and be a productive member of their workplace. They feel as though they have to cover up for what's happening by saying they've got a migraine or they've got some other ailment. So it is about bringing it out into the open. There is no illness necessarily attached to having period pain. There can be, but period pain in its own self is not an illness. So women shouldn't have to take sick leave to deal with it. It really is about making sure that our workplaces can accommodate the gender difference across people. And one of them is with women dealing with their menstrual cycle and issues around their cycle, especially menopause.
And your organisation, the Victorian Women's Trust, was the first in Australia to introduce menstrual leave in 2017. It's still going today, so has it been a success? How does it operate?
It's been a fantastic success. We're a small outfit, but we've had our menstrual policy and our leave policy in place since 2017. And part of that is that you can, if you're physically unable to productively work on a particular day of your period, then you can have up to 12 days a year of paid leave. Interestingly, since we've had that in place, the average number of days of paid leave across our office each year is only about 6 anyhow. So it's not as though women are taking the full complement that's available to them. We've just seen nothing but benefit. Staff are more open and responsive and supportive. They appreciate the support from management. I think it's supporting people in terms of being productive members of their workplace. I think it's more likely to lead women to stay with an organisation or a company that is looking out for their needs in this way. And we all know how costly staff turnover is. So the more we can do to make workplaces genuinely inclusive and supportive of people, the better.
And there is more work being done in this space, including in Victoria. We have the pain inquiry happening in that state. Will your organisation be putting forward a submission to that?
We are about a fortnight off completing our submission. The deadline for submissions to the pain inquiry has been extended until July, which I think is probably in proportion or in response to the fact that they've been overwhelmed by people showing interest. It is worth noting that this is the first time in our history that there's ever been a formal inquiry into women's pain. And I think there might be a lot of people who wonder about the need for that. But I think women know that this is long, long overdue, and that there's a lot of misdiagnosis across the medical profession. There's a lot of blindness to the issues that women face in their lived experience, to the fact that a lot of pain and manifestation of pain is gendered. And I think that inquiry is totally welcome And I know that a lot of people are genuinely working hard to put in some great submissions.